I have been trying to film this video for more or less 1 hour now, but the construction guys haven't stopped and it's already lunchtime. And I was like, are they not going to eat today? But we're here, they stopped, so let's try to film this video in 1 hour. So today's video is going to be very difficult to make because, as you might have guessed, I am not a One Piece fan. That show that everyone cannot stop talking about. The cult which is being spread all around the world and that is hurting so many children and it's making them delulu. We cannot continue to spread this One Piece prophecy. We need to eradicate it, okay? Let's finish it off. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the Straw Hats and the search for the One Piece? You have? Oh, and back there you have not. This is not a problem because today I will be rambling a little bit about it. My tablet. Before we start, I just want to say that this video might contain tiny little bit spoilers. I will not be spoiling the story itself because I am not going to focus on that, but you might hear a little bit of spoiler here and there. Just take that into consideration. Yeah, with that out of the way, let's go. It took me actually 3 times to be stuck with One Piece. Of course that I saw random episodes when I was a child, and curiosity, my first cosplay was actually Monkey D. Luffy, but I was just used to watching some random One Piece episodes on Panda Bigs because we had that on the Portuguese television. So yeah, that was my base of One Piece when I was a child. When I got into university, I gave it my first try, and dear Lord, I could not go over the 8th episode, I believe. I was watching that while I was on the metro to go to university, and I just couldn't keep on watching it. Probably 1 year later, I tried it again because the hype was still there, and I was like, why is there so many people obsessed with this? And I probably went to the 20th episode and I stopped again. And now, more or less, roughly 5 years later, I gave it my 3rd try on One Piece. And I don't know if you can see what the result was, but I'll tell you what the result was. I am now a member of the cult, and you will be too. I honestly didn't like Luffy at the beginning. It's just, let me talk. It's not like I didn't like Luffy, I just didn't think that he was that special. And I think that this was one of the reasons why I couldn't keep on watching One Piece at the beginning, because Luffy was just some guy that got into a tiny boat and he suddenly met Zoro, and yeah, he got his first crewmate out of nowhere. Now, I grew fond of Luffy, but this is not the time to talk about him. This is time to talk about Zoro because Zoro was his first crewmate. Basically, the anime starts with Luffy going around on his tiny little boat. Of course, that it talks a little bit about his backstory. The beginning is basically Luffy going on a tiny little boat and he finds Zoro about to die. And he just looks at him and he's like, am I going to help him? Am I not? And he eventually frees Zoro and they are like, best is now. This is what happened. I believe that this is why I couldn't be drawn to it at first, because it was just so out of the blue. It's like, how are you best is now? How is the literal pirate hunter best friend a pirate, which is going to be like one of the greatest pirates ever? And this is no spoiler, by the way, because the goal is for Luffy to be one of the greatest pirates. So yeah, the story at the beginning doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I endure it. The type of drawings was not very appealing to me because compared to the anime that I was watching recently, of course that the drawing style is completely different, the animation is completely different. They are on completely different levels because of course 20 years ago it was really hard to make something as good as today. But because my friends were like, please watch it, it is really cool, and I had someone at my house watching every single episode of One Piece and eating every single movie of One Piece, and I was just like, okay, I gotta see this, I gotta go through it. And I did, and I passed over the point where it started to make a little bit more sense. I started to enjoy the drawings very much. I think that it was because at One Piece, they improved the drawings very well at the early stages, so I started to like One Piece and I started to watch a lot of episodes per day. Like for the past 3 to 4 months, I have only seen One Piece. I've eaten that shit up for 3 months. So So yeah, Zoro was the most complicated fight to go over, but the next one was really cool. Now, after Zoro joins Luffy at his crew, they find Nami. And Nami, my girl, I love you. Nami is weak and she knows it. She doesn't look like it at the beginning, but she says that often at the anime, like throughout the episodes, and she knows it. She uses others for her benefit and she is greedy AF. I know that these aren't good qualities, but they are very human qualities. And I think that is the main reason why I love Nami so much. You know a lot of girls during this anime, but they are all so pretty and so perfect that I do not relate with them. Like, yes, I do like other female characters, but Nami, it's like the one. Nami is, personality-wise, it's very human and I love that about Nami. Now, Nami appears out of nowhere. She is going to steal people's treasures, and Luffy and Zoro, I think that Zoro was with him at this time, they actually meet her and they eventually end up inviting her to be their navigator because they found out that she is really good at doing that, and because Luffy and Zoro cannot navigate for shit, they would get lost in the first half an hour in the ocean, they try to bring Nami to their crew. Nami tells them that she's going to join the crew, but she actually has other type of plans. In the future and after we meet other characters, she kinda tries to leave the crew, but this is where her backstory is revealed, and it is such an emotional story and it explains why she is so greedy. You can really understand why she is the way she is, and you want to help her. You just want to be there and pat her back and kick the ass of the fishman. We can see on this part what is her motivation to go after the money. And this is not just because she wants to be rich. She has a goal in her mind, and a very noble goal. But this goal makes her the outcast in her village and among the ones that she loves. And not only this, but Nami has to work for those who actually fucked up her life. So when she actually joins Luffy and when she actually eventually asks for his help, like, it is a heartbreaking moment. She cried, I cried, Luffy helped, and everything was fixed, and Nami stopped trying to escape, and Nami stopped trying to continue to collect the money for the goal that she had. Now, don't get me wrong, Nami loves money, even after the point that she doesn't need to collect the money to fulfill her original goal. She still is a greedy girl, like, she grew up thinking about money and she will continue to think about money throughout the rest of her life, but she doesn't need to use it for the purpose that she needed at the beginning, which was to free her village. I know that I'm being a little bit all over the place, but I don't want to spoil you, so I'm trying not to say a lot, but I still hope that you're enjoying the video. And with this, do you understand why I love One Piece so much and why probably everyone loves One Piece so much? It is the characters. They are very well written. They all look really human. Not Zoro. Zoro does not look human. He's a Super Saiyan. But everyone else looks very human. Now, at this point, Nami has officially become one of the Straw Hats crew, along with Luffy and Zoro. Caught you by surprise! If you are enjoying the video so far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because I want to make more of these videos. So please, do it! Bye! Let's ignore the fact that I have a literal scarf on my head because I could not find my banana.
I swear that I said bandana, not banana. Bandana, but I spoke too fast, okay?
So this was the only thing that I could find to look a little bit closer to the character. As you might have guessed, next character to show up is Usopp. Usopp gets into the middle of Nami's backstory, so Nami hasn't yet decided if she actually is going to stay with the crew or not. So yeah, we're moving a little bit backwards because the first character to show up was Nami, then Usopp, and then all the Nami story developed. After my favorite female character comes one of my favorite male characters, Usopp. Just like Nami, Usopp is human. He's human. He's a liar. No one trusts him. He goes and antagonizes. Antagonizes, is that the word in English? He pisses off his village every day. Like, he goes running down there and he tells everyone that pirates are coming, and everyone is sick of him, so they just want to kick his ass, basically. And no one in the village believes in him except for 3 little kids, which are his pirates, and a noble girl that is very sick and that enjoys Usopp's company very much. Usopp visits this girl pretty much every day to tell her stories of his amazing accomplishments, and she just laughs. Deep down she knows that they're not real, but at the end of the day she really enjoys being with Usopp, and that's just what she wants to hear. She just wants to hear his stories. Now, a lot of things happen in this part, like Usopp just needs to go away. He feels like he needs to leave and to actually make his stories a reality. So he decides to go to the sea and be a pirate. We do not know a lot of Usopp's backstory. The only thing that I know so far, and I'm once again at the 600 something episodes, is who is his father. I don't know a lot more, so this is a character that I like without knowing why he is the way he is. But I just love him as he is. Usopp, you're my babe. But yeah, we do not know a lot about Usopp's backstory, but we do know that he is a compulsive liar. He likes to make himself the captain, he likes to make himself the strongest guy ever, and he eventually is invited to Luffy's crew. Like, even though he's not that strong, even though he's a liar, Luffy likes him and he just invites Usopp to join the crew, and Usopp goes. And once again, we're going back to not the story itself, but to the characters. I am a firm believer that the way that the characters are drawn, it's why One Piece is so loved worldwide. Of course that the story is really good, and now I can see that. At the beginning, not really. Now I can see that the story is very well written, but I keep being drawn to the characters' history. This is what makes me continue to watch, and this is what makes me feel the love that I feel for the anime. So yeah, who would have thought that I would love a liar? Please comment down below if you do too. Usopp is the exception, right? Please agree with me down in the comment section. And let's go to the next character, one that you already seen in one of my previous videos. Now, a bunch of episodes forward, after Usopp joins the crew, after the old backstory of Nami is shown, and after Nami is finally released from the burden that she had, you are going to be able to see the most wonderful, cute, and kawaii character ever. I know that cute and kawaii is the same thing, but it was the name that came into my head, and they are both true. After Zoro, Usopp, Nami, and Luffy get together, they go to a different island and they meet Chopper. And Chopper's backstory, it's honestly the most hurtful for me. Yes, Nami's backstory, it's really sad, and even the tiny bits of Zoro's backstory are also touching. And Luffy actually has a really pretty messed up, not quite backstory, but story in general. But Chopper is my baby. Chopper is an animal, and I believe that most of us have a soft spot for animals, and his backstory was really hurtful. Now, Chopper went through so much since he was born. He was a reindeer that was born with a blue nose, and he ate a devil fruit, and because of that he was able to speak, and he was not accepted by the animals, but he was also not accepted by humans. He was considered a monster amongst everything. He eventually got left behind, and he just tried to go into the human realm. But as I said, he was considered a monster, so he was pursued and he was trying to be killed, I believe several times, because he was the way that he was. Eventually, Chopper found someone that liked him for who he was. It was a doctor, and he was super sweet. He learned a lot with Doctor, and they were a family. But eventually, Doctor had to separate himself from Chopper because he was going to die, and he didn't want Chopper to see him die and to see him in the bad state that he was going to be. Chopper did not know this, so Doctor just moved past Chopper. He told him to go away, and he actually tried to kill Chopper, but he had to fire some gunshots so that Chopper could go away. Chopper hurt himself to call Doctor's attention, but even though he tried, Doctor just didn't care about Chopper, and I cried so much, and just thinking about his backstory. I know that I'm just talking about little bits, but just thinking about his backstory, like, I feel like I want to cry again. Chopper is such a baby. He went through so much, and even when he found someone that was his family, they still got separated. Now, after Doctor actually died and Chopper had something to deal with it, not quite, because Doctor was going to die anyway. But Chopper was actually adopted once again by Dr. Dean, which was a friend of Doctor. I like the way that they interacted. After all of this, and Chopper is with Dr. Dean now, Luffy ends up going to their island, and after a lot of struggle, they happen to get into the place where Dr. Dean lives, and Dr. Dean needs to help them because Nami is pretty sick. Chopper helps them, and when Nami wakes up, he goes all scary because he does not like humans because, of course, of his backstory. But Luffy likes him a lot since the beginning because Luffy understands that Chopper is a monster, and he is really curious about that, and he just invites Chopper to his crew. Just join us, you're a monster, I want you in my crew. And Chopper deals a lot with what happened in his life because Chopper thought that being a monster was bad, and Luffy got into his head that the contrary was actually the thing. Like, no, being a monster is really cool. And after a lot of considering, Chopper actually joins the crew. I would like to tell you a lot more about all of these characters, and I wrote a rather detailed script, but I don't want to spoil anything for you. So I just hope that you are still enjoying and you are still falling a little bit in love with the characters as I was at the time. And if you haven't watched One Piece yet, I hope that you start watching it. I was also going to talk about the next crew member that joined Luffy's crew, but I decided not to do it on this video because it's getting a little bit long and the noise is messing up in my head, so I'll stop right here. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. I am new at this, but I really want to make it a constant thing. If you could subscribe, it will mean a lot to me, and it will make me feel a little bit more motivated to continue to create more videos. Comment down below which was your favorite character from this initial 5, and who is your favorite character in the whole anime if you have one, because I have friends that cannot choose their favorite characters. For me at the moment it is Chopper. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you have a nice day. So yeah, thank you once again for checking out this video. Bye!